Welcome to this week's G.I. Joe toy review, where today we are looking at 4 separate HISS tanks with 4 separate drivers. Well, technically 3, but with 3 separate drivers. But we're going to start out with the 25th anniversary HISS tank, and we're going to start with the file card, where it says Cobra HISS tank. It's got a picture of the HISS tank with the Cobra logo. Now, the 25th anniversary ones I like because they come with a file card for the vehicles, which I think is pretty slick. And it says Destination Tank Weapons Cannons. High-speed Sentry, the HISS tanks, are one of the Cobra organization's primary combat vehicles. These armored workhorses can move at a good assault speed and can blast the G.I. Joe team with turret-mounted cannons. Cobra HISS commanders are especially trained to use the sophisticated electronics to maximum advantage. Infrared for nighttime attacks and radar for pinpoint targeting accuracy. Cobra HISS tanks have been at the front defending Cobra Island and in the Battle of Springfield, the town controlled by Cobra. So that gives a little good explanation on the HISS tank. Which I'm glad I just had the one file card for the HISS tank, so we'll just put HISS tank commander up to the side for right now and take a look at this HISS tank. And as you can see, it's got the 001 stickers, Cobra logo stickers, turret with a Cobra logo, and get good range of motion in these cannons. So you can open it up, and you got the clamshell canopy. That can open right here like this with nice detailed cockpit, and whatnot, where you can sit. And we'll take this one that was the Cobra HISS Commander, came with this. You can just sit him right inside. Get him right in there, and then you can close the canopy. This guy just would have sit in there right. But it does get kind of hard when you're doing it with one hand. He does sit in there, and as you can see, it does close up, and it does roll very well. Hoodie Cobra Commander 788 said in his review of the HISS tank, the first one, it would look like it would be front end heavy with this here, especially with a driver in it, but it is proportioned right here. It does come with some fake treads with dumbbell type wheels at the bottom to help it roll, which is pretty cool. So we will actually show how the turret is ran by using the HISS tank Mark III driver. Rip it by putting him right here in the working the cannon, which you can see some detail in there with the cup with a little divider at the legs that you could actually stand him in. And then it also has 2 foot pegs here in the back for additional support troops, which we will use the other 2 HISS drivers. So let me go ahead and pause this real quick so I can set them on there. So here we have the 2 HISS drivers right there in the back, as well as Rip It there, and the HISS tank commander in the front, which they are not supposed to commit unaliving, but we'll just set these guys right back on there. So you get a good range of idea of these guys being on there. We're in a squad of his drivers on a HISS tank. But put everybody off to the side. And then lift this up. And all these HISS tanks are the same, so I'm not going to show the precision on them with them in the each HISS tank, but that would do this HISS tank on there, because as you see, it's the 001. Let's get that on each side. So we're going to put him off to the side, and then we're going to look at HISS tank Mark III, which is from the retro line. Oh, hang on one second. And this is the HISS tank Mark III, which you can see with the 813 right there. Stickers, Cobra's logo, Cobra logo on the gun turret. Same thing, the gun turret raises up and down. Same inside. Thingy-mabobbers, the 2 foot pegs. And at least this one has a darker canopy. So ripping is not as visible, but it does raise up. Same inside detail. Same non-working treads with the dumbbell wheels. And yes, these treads are made to look this dirty. But they actually came looking like that. But it does roll the same as the other HISS tank. So we'll look at the other retro HISS tank, which I do have 2 of. One of which I bought myself, and the other one came as a Christmas present from my old one of my old bosses. As you can see, they have the 788. So Hooded Cobra Commander 788. This is a tribute to you, because you get the 788 here with the logo, Cobra logo, sticker, and then the upraised turret, Cobra logo there, and then another sticker right there, which just says 363. I don't know what the 363 means. You know, and it's done the same way. Dumbbell wheels or not working treads. And you can lift right here at the canopy. Lift the gun turret up so you get a full range of lifting in there. Same working cockpit. You know, so let's look at the HISS tank. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and start our looks at the drivers of these HISS tanks. Starting with the HISS tank commander. This is Cobra Infantry, codenamed Cobra HISS Commander. Primary military specialty is tank commander. Secondary military specialty is mechanical and electronic systems. Cobra HISS Commanders, which means this guy is an army builder, are selected from the best of the Cobra Infantry forces and specialized training in how to operate these top-of-the-line armored tanks and use the vehicle's sophisticated electronic systems. They are chosen for their skills, physical strength, and initiative, which means they're some of the nastiest, toughest, and most aggressive troopers in the entire Cobra Army. Cobra HISS Commanders are graduates of Cobra Battle School and Advanced Weapons Systems Training. Quote at the bottom says, "We are dedicated to destroying the G.I. Joe team and will crush them under the treads of our tanks." Which stays good for this guy. So let's take a look at his accessories, which he come with the figure stand, codename HISS Commander, upraised Cobra logo on it. And this is the only HISS driver I had that came with a weapon, with a pistol. Nice looking pistol. And then if you look at his uniform, which is of a blue and silver with a red Cobra armor plate with a silver Cobra logo, silver boots, black holster for the pistol, you know, and whatnot. And his head can swivel all the way around. and up and down. His arm can bend about so high, and as you can see, he can bend at the elbow. He can rotate at the elbow. And so on and so forth. He can rotate at the wrist. His legs can do a good split. His legs are loose, so he could probably do a decent split. But my example, his legs are really, really loose. But his leg could kick up to about there. Double knee joint. And straighten his leg out. His ankle can pivot. As well as, well, when it doesn't fly out, let me hook this back on. And no, as you can tell, he didn't break. See, he can still rotate at the ankle. So let's go ahead and gear this guy up. So here's the HISS commander all geared up. Ready for battle. As he commands his legion of HISS tank drivers. And I think this is a really, really good look at this character. I think this is a great character. Even though he wasn't really done out in the cartoon or the comic books. But he's still a good looking figure. So we'll set him on the side and rate the whole HISS team as individuals. Or as a group. Next we come to Rip It. Which has a file card with a picture of Rip It right there. Cobra, with the Cobra logo. It says Rip It. File name Booth Fred T. III. And his role is HISS driver. Primary specialty is heavy equipment operator. And his birthplace is Fall River, Massachusetts. And it says, mean and fearless doesn't begin to describe Rip It. This guy only knows one thing, destroy or be destroyed. What's ironic was that line, destroy or be destroyed, was in a recent episode of Thundercats that we reviewed in the Mad Bubbler. Destroy or be destroyed. So that's, doesn't say much about Rip It, but he is a HISS tank driver in the uniform. Which he's got a kind of a Cobra blue uniform, red faceplate with the black goggles, black armor piece on his chest with the red Cobra logo. His uniform is blue with black thigh-high boots. He must be a stripper on his off time. But hey, articulation is his head does swivel all the way around. Arm raised to about there. Rotate all the way around. Bends at the elbow, as you can see. Rotates at the elbow all the way around, a full 360. And rotate at the wrist. And he does have the ab crunch feature, which is not as prevalent. His legs can split. He can lift at the leg. He's got a single bend at the knee, or double knee bend at the knee. But it doesn't really work well in the double bend. His ankle can pivot. As well as swivel at the ankle. And we could just set him on his figure stand. He comes with no other weapons. Which I do prefer my vehicle drivers that way, to come with no weapons. So we'll put him off to the side so we can look at the HISS driver. And I'm going to have one steady on his figure stand. Due to I have two of them, which is come with the same thing. So I'm going to have one standing here and the other one where I could display and show off everything. But before we do that, we are going to look at his file card, which I have this file card and that file card. It says Cobra HISS, role driver, primary specialty HISS driver, Secondary military specialty, mechanical and electrical systems. Birthplace is various countries, which is perfect because he's a troop. This guy is a troop builder. And it says, Cobra HISS drivers are selected from the best and most evil of Cobra Command's thousands of yearly recruits. And of course, like Rip it does have the same thing written in four other languages that I cannot read, so I'm not going to worry about it. His accessories are just like Rip It, with an upraised Cobra logo. Of course, this says Cobra Trooper, and it came on both of them, so I think they had some extra Cobra Troopers figure stands, so they just didn't do his driver stands. And of course, like the first two we looked at, his commander's uniform is totally red, with a black face guard and black bands, black highlights on his belt. But it's a blue shield on here, but it does come out black on camera for some reason. I have no idea why, with a silver Cobra logo. Which actually I'm highly impressed with the silver paint that they use on these guys now. Because if you had these guys back as a kid, you know, the silver wore off very quickly. And the articulation is the same. Head does rotate all the way around. His arm can raise to here. As well as rotate all the way around. He can bend at the elbow. He can, just like Rip It and his commander, he can rotate all the way around at the wrist. And he does have the wrist swivel. And the same as did the other two, he does have the ab crunch, but the armor is kind of piercing, or is kind of in the way. Which he does, which all these figures do have can turn their waist left to right. Of course, his driver can kick through the big boot. Do the Hulk Hogan big boot. Ugh. Don't want to knock out his buddy. And of course, double knee bend. Ankle can pivot. And swivel all the way around. And whatnot. And let's gear these guys up, or set this guy up on his figure stand, and then we'll take a look at all four figures as together. And I do think these are awesome figures. So I will do this way so we can get a better shot at these four. If I can get his commander to stand up straight. These four with the thigh-high boots. I mean, I get the concept, Hasbro, but doing these guys in thigh-high boots, giving them stripper boots, I mean, we could do better. But I get the concept. I like these four guys. They're four of my favorite figures. Of course, they come with my favorite vehicle of Cobra. You know, but these are top tier figures in my opinion. Especially when you got one individual HISS tank driver. And then you got the commander that could be an army builder. As well as the regular drivers that are army builders. So we'll put these four back off to the side. He wants to come off his figure stand. How dare you, HISS commander. I am the real Cobra Commander. So I'm messing with you. So I'll keep you guys looking at them. While I bring in one of each of the HISS tanks for the overall viewing of it. Which we have these three HISS tanks. The Mark III, the regular retro HISS tank, and the 25th anniversary HISS tank. Of course, top tier vehicle all the way around on all of them, even though they're the same, but top tier vehicle. Optimus Prime approves. Many Optimus approves. But this is an ultimate vehicle. This is my favorite of all Cobra vehicles. I really enjoyed this vehicle as a kid. But this has been the HISS tank with its drivers. So see y'all in the next one, and I hope you all have enjoyed a wonderful Cobra month. See you in the next one. Peace.